dark. Anyway, I've got this really narrow driveway, and I don't want to be shoveling all winter, so I picked up a snowblower. But yeah, that's my roof. Eventually it'll be up there, and that dumpster will be gone, and then I can have my house back. So I picked up a snowblower, not a new one and not a big one. I bought this. This is actually a very small snowblower. This is about as small as they get for a 2-stage, and looks a little lopsided. You know, I just realized that I think the tires are a bit too big for it. Look at that. It's like a little hot rod. I bought it for a very small amount of money. It wasn't huge money. I know the skids, they're properly adjusted, but those wheels are big. A little bit big, I think. I paid very little money for this thing. I need to stress that. The thing is, I was going to buy a much bigger one. The guy that I bought this from, I've known my whole life. And he just sells used lawn and garden equipment, fixes it up, sells it for a profit. And he gave me a pretty good deal on this one. It fired right up. Doesn't knock, doesn't smoke, runs really well. But I was going to buy a much bigger machine, and then I realized, like, wait a minute. I have no yard and I have no driveway. I mean, my yard is very small. I have a 0.2 acre lot. So, I mean, it's not like I need a big, you know, giant snowblower. In fact, I could almost get away with one of those little paddle type snowblowers, but something like this will... Damn, those wheels are a little big. I just realized that. You don't want to drop the skids down too far because then it won't, you know, scrape the driveway. But it'll work, I'm sure. Anyway, this thing runs great. Let's fire it up. It should just start. Okay, prime it. Oh yeah, the fuel's off. Try to put it back on. Clearance here. Oh, yeah, it's a little cold. I took the choke off too soon. But anyway, it does run really well. But as you can see, it just, boom, starts right up. Anyway, it has one small problem. The drive wheel is a little worn out. So what I want to do right now is I want to take the bottom cover off and have a look inside. I'm going to have to re-level those. Now that I got air in the tires, I'm going to have to kind of tweak it a little bit. But it's a pretty simple unit. 6 forward speeds, 2 reverse. It is just a rubber drive wheel in there. Did I mention how little I paid? Plastic chute, everything works. And it's got this cool green paint. What we're going to do is we're going to pull the bottom cover off and just take a look at the drive wheel and see what we got in there. I'm going to need what we got? Probably metric, but oh yeah, I should know what size that is. It's like a 10mm or a 3/8. It's a 3/8. Yep. Just pop these off, loosen them up. Yeah, I'm just getting ready for... There's one missing. Getting ready for the snow. Yeah, I was going to buy the bigger one he had for sale. It was a 1980s Jacobson with a Tecumseh motor. I think it was an 8-horse or a 6. It was a 6-horse. And it weighed about twice as much as this one. It was much bigger. It was a 24-inch cut. This is only a 22. So it's a little bit bigger, a little heavier. Just way more machine than I need. This one here is just the right size for my little piece of heaven here. And, oh, it's got an adjustable scraper bar. It's rusty, but it's not rotted. So what I'm going to do in the summertime is I'm going to scrape away all the loose paint and just POR it where needed, and that's it. Just cover it with POR, maybe top coat it with some kind of a green paint. I won't be able to replicate this kick-ass color. I'm not worried about, you know, oh, did it have the right oil? No, fuck that. A lot of people that watch my channel, they're super serious, and they're like, oh my god, you need to make sure that you A, B, C, and D, and then make sure that C and D are done with, you know what, guys, I used to be like that. Now I don't give a shit. As long as it works, I don't care. I got bigger problems. I'm standing in one of them. So, what do we got going on? Yeah, that drive wheel is shot. But let's see. A little bit of chain slack, but there's no adjustment for that. Yeah, it's got some belts that are a little aged. Maybe I can just adjust it to put more pressure down. Let's see. So it lifts the drive plate. Yeah, I think it's the drive plate, that's the drive wheel. And what we can do is potentially kind of get a little more tension on that. I mean, the wheel isn't gone, but it's gone. I mean, it should be thicker than that. A little oil contamination maybe. But even the Jacobson that he was selling did have a lot of slippage. So I'm not really that worried about it. But I am going to pull up on this a little bit. And this one there's no adjustment for. Is there? No. As long as that bearing is good. Yeah, that's pretty much all we're going to get out of it. As for age, I would say that this unit is probably, I would say it's a Murray. It's an old Murray, but not a really old one. I mean, Murray's pretty much gone. I think they were absorbed by MTD. But yeah, this is not a high-end machine. This thing is like super crap. And, oh, that might be a little too much. But that's all right. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of grease on this wheel. We could probably clean it up a little bit with some degreaser. And yeah, it's got tracks worn into it pretty badly. Usually when these start to go out, you notice it more so at high speeds, when it's in like its transport speed, which is gear number 6. That's when you really start to notice it. That's where there's more pressure on that disc. And that's when they really start to show their age. This one is at that point now. But I think I'm going to just let it go. I mean, this thing will probably last me 20 years, just as is. What do I have for... I don't have... actually, I have a whole thing of chemicals here. I don't have anything to open the box with. This is all my roofer's stuff here. In here. Check out this Diston saw that I found in my garage. It came with the house. Diston, these are collector's items. Some of the best hand saws ever made. I don't know if this is the roofer's knife or mine, but I'm going to use it. It's got heat in here too. I also got these fishing poles. Any good? What's this one? A Mach VI. That's a Mach 6 Eagle Claw. I'm sure it's not a nice one. But let's see what we got. We got some gear oil, mothers, WD, Sunny D, brake fluid, radiator flush. This is not the box I'm looking for. I bet you thought I was going to say droid. Here's my car wheels. What do we got here? Antifreeze. Got a lot of more lubricating oil, no degreaser, lithium grease, good stuff. No degreaser. There's a polishing cloth. We can sacrifice it for the cost, right? Yeah. There's definitely grease on this wheel, which, you know, if you know anything about how these suckers work, you know that's not good. Why wouldn't it move? I got the thing up in the air. Oh, because the engine's engaged. There we go. It won't start, will it? Yeah, probably not. I think I have it off. There we go. There we go. Let's wipe all that off. But yeah, the wheel is probably okay, but anyway, yeah. But yeah, they used a lot of grease on that shaft. Look at it, it's like sopping with grease. But hey, it works. As long as it removes snow, I don't care. Yeah, there's one tab broken off on that side. That's okay. Yeah, this is definitely a cheap snowblower. That, you know, when I was a kid and I was like fixing snowblowers for my neighbors, that's how I made money. I would have made fun of this machine all day long. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, just like my YouTube viewers are doing with my appliances. My high-end Samsung appliances that you guys all love to hate. That's alright though. Because you know what? I was one of you. And then, you know, I just grew up. And realized that, you know what? If it works for the person who bought it, who cares? As long as it gets the job done. And if it doesn't, then replace it, you know? But, and another thing is, as a kid, I hated Tecumseh motors. I don't know why. I just hated them. And here I own one. Actually, I own, yeah, just the one. And I was a Briggs man. They were easy to fix. I loved Briggs motors because they were just historically so easy to fix. I mean, I could have one fixed and diagnosed in 3 seconds, no matter what was wrong with it. And that was when I was 9 or 10. And I just loved them for that reason. But Briggs stopped making snowblower engines many years ago. I think they got back into it for a while, and they stopped again, I think. Now the Chinese are making all of them now. But, yeah, Briggs used to make, at one point, they did make a snowblower engine. You know, it was just basically a horizontal shaft motor. Oh, I'm leaking gas out of the carb. I should have shut the gas petcock off. But yeah, they used to make a snow thrower motor, but Tecumseh took over the market in the 90s with their Snow King engine. 80s, 90s, I forget. And Tecumseh was like all there was for snowblowers anyway. And I just had to learn to love them. But you know what it was? It was, what I hated about Tecumseh motors was that consumers generally do not take care of their machines. And Tecumseh carburetors, which use, you know, a standard float design, they were more problematic and harder to fix in a consumer machine because they were often left with watery gas. Back when water separated from gasoline, unlike it does today where it mixes. And what happened was all that water would float or would sink to the bottom of the float, and it would cause a problem. it would rust out the carburetors, and that was it. Then you had to deal with corrosion in the bowl, and once the electroplate and whatever coating they used on the float bowls when they were steel, I'm thinking of when the aluminum ones started to corrode. Yeah, it was bad news. Anyway, so once the corrosion started, that was it. You'd have a problem every year, every season. But sometimes you get lucky, and you never have a problem. But I'm just rambling on and on. So at this point, I think that the drive wheel is acceptably worn. I did give that auger a little extra tension, maybe too much. I shouldn't have. Oh, you shouldn't have. The traction drive, though, that's the one where we want to give it something. But there's no... That spring only tension so high. There is no adjustment for it. Oh, there is, but there totally is. But as you can see, that's as far as it goes. So we can easily... Yeah, I think we can fix this. Here's what we're going to do. Just there's a lot of slack in that cable, and I don't want there to be. This nut right here, we'll back it off that bolt a little bit, back it up a little more. Boom. Yeah, I could probably use a little bit of a carb adjustment. But, hey, it runs. And it does work a little bit nicer now. I do wonder if there's a smaller wheel I could put on it, but I could be off base. Those could be the right size. I mean, it just looks a little bit not level. But, hey, the tires are in good shape, and they're holding air, so... all I can ask for. This thing is ready to go. But I'm going to get some fuel for it. I should probably loosen up that adjustment a little bit. I think I screwed the pooch there. Put a little bit too much. See, that's the engagement point right about there. And I guess that's alright. At least it won't slip anyway. But, I mean, again, my driveway is small, and all I'm going to do is make a path from the driveway to the, I'm going to go around the house, all the way around for the oil delivery, and at least a path to go around the house and into the basement. So I'm thinking of actually storing this in the basement, because this garage is very small. I don't know if you've noticed. And, not a lot of room down here, in here. I've been in this house, I've owned this house for a couple of weeks now, and I still don't know what's up there. I still don't know. But anyway, we'll figure it out. None of this is mine. That's a nice little compressor. Look familiar? The same compressor that I tried to fix a while back and didn't succeed. That's the same exact machine. But yeah. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to bed. And I dropped my camera. Fell right on the garage floor. Scratched it up. I'm not happy about that, but what can I do? What's done is done. But yeah. I really wish I could find parts to fix these jealousy windows. I'm like ADD man here. Oh man, all I can smell is exhaust fumes. Oh yeah, check this out. So in the earlier models, they used to have a standard INDAC ignition switch on these, just as a safety measure, I guess. So you could lock the machine out so your kid couldn't chop up his friends with it. Not that would be the biggest problem you'd have if your kid would chop up his friends with a snowblower, but you could deactivate them with a key. In this generation, they were just a little plastic key. You just stick it in the carburetor box here. All it does is it just engages the kill switch. That's all it does. Nothing fancy. But yeah, this is a 2-stage unit. 5-horse, 2-stage. It's got the wrong shear pins on it. I think these are a little bigger than they should be. A little bit of rust in there, but again, POR cures all. The impeller spins. This gearbox leaks. Where's the fill plug on it? Is there even a fill plug? Oh, it's right here. I think I might toss a little bit of lube in there myself. Just fill it up. Actually, have some gear oil. Oh, yucky. Yuck. It's like glue. Oh boy. I don't think there's anything to drain out. So, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill it up for this season, right? Then, come next season, I'm going to drain it out. Sound fair? Alright. So we drop the skids down a little bit. Well, move them up, down, east, west. So that way the auger doesn't strike the ground. And then I gotta lower that scraper plate down a little bit, so that way it brings the snow into the auger. So I mean the impeller. I think that's I gotta actually. It's been a while since I've had to adjust one of these, like years. Used to be really good at that, but I haven't used a snowblower in so long that, you know, I kind of forgot how to use one. Living in a condo does that to you. Condo days are long behind me at this point, but it sits more level. I mean, it sits a little bit more. No, it doesn't. I'm just making that up. It looks like there's another hole you can drop the axle into to raise it. I think that gearbox is used on different models. That's why. So, anyway, I'm going to look up the model number on this and try to find a drive wheel for it. The drive plate looks okay, but the drive wheel, I'd like to have a spare. It's 622505X8, code 27262. Let's see. Let me get a picture of that for my records. Made in USA. All right. Well, that's going to do it for now. Oh, wait. How old is this thing? I bet you I can figure that out. There's got to be a stamp on here somewhere. Sometimes you get the mold stamps on plastic parts, and they can tell you. You can also look up the model number of the the number of the engine. Usually would tell you how old it is. But anyway, I'm going. It's cold. I'm going in the house.